Hi, this is Dr. Lisabeth Medlock of Life by Design Coaching with your life coaching tip of the week for the week of September 24th, 2012. This week I'm going to be talking about the difference between being alone and feeling lonely. And I think we use those two terms interchangeably. A state of being alone and a state of being lonely, but actually they're completely different things. Loneliness is a negative emotional state. So when you feel lonely, that's a sense of isolation, a sense of disconnectedness. It usually doesn't feel so good, a sense of estrangement, and it's associated with not feeling so good about things. You can actually feel lonely when you're with other people. You can feel disconnected from them, disengaged. So feeling lonely doesn't even have to happen when you are alone. So loneliness can happen alone or with other people, that you just feel disconnected, disenfranchised, estrangement, isolation, the feeling that you're just not connecting, and that feeling can happen at any time. Whereas the state of being alone, which is also interchangeably used with the state of solitude, is a kind of a positive place to be, because when we're alone, we don't feel a negative state. Being alone and feeling alone can be a positive thing, because it's only in those moments that we're alone that we can do a lot of things we need to do to work on ourselves. So it's very hard to do self-reflection. It's very hard to do goal setting. It's very hard to really get to know yourself and get in tune with yourself if you don't spend time with yourself. So you have to kind of balance spending time with other people to really holding those times when you have solitude. People that are really working on some type of creative process, whether it be writing or painting or designing, they really crave those times alone, because it's in those times that we really can do our creative process. I know with my writing, that's hard to do around other people. I need my times of aloneness and solitude, which I spend a lot of time alone, to do anything that I find creative and also to work on myself. So alone is usually a positive state, and it's interesting because people think that when people get older they feel more lonely, and what studies have shown is actually younger people feel more of a sense of loneliness than older people. And the reason why is because as people get older and age and mature, they get a better sense of themselves. They get a routine around them. They get routinized and habitual, and those kind of routines and habits and a sense of yourself cause you to really feel less lonely even in your later years. And it's actually younger people that feel more lonely, because younger people don't really know themselves that well yet and haven't really gotten to the point where they feel super comfortable being with themselves. So we think, people get old, they get lonely, and it's not true. Younger people feel lonely more often. So one of the things we need to do that I keep going back to time and time again is, I think it's so important to feel comfortable being alone and being able to truly sit with yourself, by yourself, and feel okay with that and feel that it's a good, positive experience. And if you think about all the things that we really need to accomplish and only can accomplish when we're alone, whether it be writing or reading or writing letters to people or writing emails to people or taking a really hot bubble bath or watching a movie by yourself. I mean, all these different things that you can do alone that are really best experienced alone, as well as self-reflection and affirmations and the things that you want to do to work on yourself, I think, are difficult to do when there are other people around. So learn to really like yourself, to be able to be alone with yourself, to like the time that you spend with yourself. I think it's very important. When you have that feeling of loneliness, that feeling of need, that feeling of emptiness, that feeling of isolation, explore where that's coming from, especially when you still feel the sense of loneliness when you're around other people, because in a way, something's going on where you're not connecting to other people, and there's a reason for that disconnection. So we really need to work on all those times when we really feel that negative state of loneliness and figure out what will help me to feel alone and comfortable with it and not lonely and longing for someone else, some interaction, and some people in our lives. So that was the life coaching tip of the week, the difference between being alone and feeling lonely. And I will see you next week for another tip. I hope you have a great